Testing, testing. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. If you can hear me, say yes. If not, say no. Okay. Can you hear me now? Good. Can you hear me now? Good. Can you hear me now? Winged him. Yeah. Great, great, great. All right. This is Reality Check Live. This is episode 5 on YouTube. I'm so excited I could just plot. I've been working on comics, duh. And let's see. Let me pull up the page. I'm full of bacon. I'm so revitalized. Let's see here. I just gotta pull up the program. I can't program on the. This is a really terrible background for if you're looking for scattered stuff on your screen. Look at that. It's very, it's a very attractive image, but very eye-catching, very eye-popping. But it really doesn't blend well with icons on your desktop. Let's see here. Okay. Just add the dialogue and such to add to that to current Questor page, Space Ranger page rather. As you know, I'm doing a current arc in Tales of Quentin Quinn Space Ranger, uh, uh, making fun of World of War, not making fun of Warhammer. Warhammer 40K or 60K or Special K, whatever it is. I love bacon. Mm. Mm. Let's see here. Anyway, if for Kiba Bloodfang, I'm assuming you're a fan because you went ee when I came into the channel. I'm guessing where you come from. You come from uh, the web comics or the fan fictions that I do, or what? Just wondering. Just wondering. All right, we have an audience of 2. Go out and drag your family to gather around the warm, toasty glow of your monitor. I'm gonna pop up another window and get your butts in channel. I need an audience. All right. I think I'm gonna start recommending bacon as a mood elevator. Mm. I don't know about you. I like meaty bacon. I don't like bacon that's like crispy, crunchy, crisp. It's cooked crunchy. It took me a long time to learn to like bacon as a kid because of that. Because my mom, you got one of those parents that cooks it until it's like roofing tile, like little strips of charcoal briquette. There's no meat to it. It's just you might all the carbon you could ever want for your diet. The reason the sound keeps cutting out is because I got a plate of bacon right here. I'm picking pieces off and eating them as I work. Bacon. Anyway, keep. What brings you by? I'm assuming I got fan. I got I'm kind of a big deal on the internet, but I've got fans over. I've got My Little Pony fans. Yeah, yeah. I write My Little Pony fan fiction. Shun them, shun e. You know, but and I also got the online comic strips. So I like to know where everybody's coming from. What brings them by? See, you're the only new name we've had here this week, so this is you. Bacon. Ketchup. Bacon with ketchup, I dare you. Okay, working on the latest page here, page of Space Ranger. Okay, let's see. I'm really missing the music here, and I can't figure out how to play music. Can you hear me out there? Is my audio coming through? Let me turn this up here. That's turn that up a little bit. Turn it up. Image. You know, if you guys stop talking, I don't know what's going on. So please talk amongst yourself or something. I don't know. Uh, let's see. Okay, good. Good to know somebody can hear. That just worries me because, one of the joys of working on the internet is that you never know that everything. You don't know until 5 minutes later that everything went, toes up. Let's see here. Let's see here. Definitely a delay. Definitely a delay. Thing is, this channel doesn't show. It doesn't show who all's in the chat. Tell how many people are here. Oh well, bacon all gone. Mm. Okay, let's see here. Keep making the same mistake over and over again. Let's see here. All right. Gaussian blur. Ooh, that's a little too much. Just one. Okay. And now we update the page. Hello, let's see all we have in here in channel. Okay, we've got Daniel Myers, Zine Tyler, Kiba Bloodfang was here. Don't know if he's still here or not. And Andrew Johnson. So we've got 4 people in audience, hypothetically. I'm all a Twitter. Yeah, I really need. Yeah, I really. I need some sort of co-host. I mean, even a chatty Kathy doll. Pull a cord every now and then. Hello, my name is Kathy. You know, just something to keep the noise going, to keep the conversation going while I'm working. Because when I start really getting into something, sometimes I'll just sort of just run out of words, and then. But so okay, it's time to update the page. Caps lock. Ugh. Okay, let's see. Okay, I am running the Kickstarter campaign. The Kickstarter's campaign. Oh dear. Okay, that's not comforting. Okay, I made a grand total of $12 in pledges today. I will need approximately $363 in pledges per day to succeed. Okay, my hopes are diminishing rapidly. $2,000. That's grand, pun intended. What people, the people have come up with. I guess I just simply do not have the audience appeal needed to pull in a Kickstarter for a full year funding. I think part of my problem is I'm still thinking in 1970s dollars. 1970s dollars, because to me, I had to talk to myself. I had to think this over when I set the amount. Had to really think it over, because to me, $20,000 sounds like huge money. Well, and generally, well, for most people, it is all at once. But 20 grand is well, let's put it this way: at minimum wage, you get like 15 grand a year. So, all perspective, I'm basically trying to fund a full year here, so that I can do the comic strips without interruption, without the lights going out. Keep the lights on, the internet running, the roof from leaking. And it's still it's a huge amount to say all at once, though. And, I'm just torn over that, but okay, it's 7 weeks to go. 7 weeks. Final day is December 1st. I do not know. Right now, it's not looking like I'm going to make it. Of course, this is only the first couple of weeks. Might be a little too early to panic. I don't know. Somebody from some celebrity may come along and say, "Oh, how cute! Let's pay for the space raccoons," and drop their shopping money for the day in the bin. Something. I don't know. Okay. Okay. New post. New post. Okay. Okay. It could happen. Really? Upload. Let's see here. Just select files. Really, really hope it happens. It would be nice. If this goes through, if the fundraiser goes through, everybody that's made a donation will receive a free digital download of the comics. That is to say, I'm going to be making 2 graphic novels. That's what the whole year is going to be. Me making a graphic novel for a new graphic novel volume for Quentin Quinn Space Ranger and for Tales of the Questor. It comes out to about 4 pages. My minimum goal is going to be 100 pages. I'm going to also be inserting the pages that I'm drawing right now. So it's going to be, the goal is 100 pages from January 1, 2015 to January 1, 2016. Then we will have at least 100 pages, 2 100-page graphic novels, which will come out. The donation incentives include digital downloads for everybody who makes even a $1 donation. Sketch drawings for the $10 or $20 range. $50, you get you get a copy of a hard copy, printed copy of each of the books. 1 copy of Quentin Quinn Space Ranger, 1 copy of Tales of the Questor. And, you go to the Kickstarter page, it has a whole list of the donor incentives. And if this goes through, I am basically going to be busy for the next 2 years. No lie. I'm going to be more busy than I have been in a long time. And with any luck, if cosmic forces collide and I surpass this, if I surpass the $20,000 goal, I haven't really decided on what my stretch goals are. Right now, I'm just trying to stretch for the goal, But I'm thinking that doing setting up so that I do a print run and have them at the next Comic-Con for distribution. The entire goal isn't, it's more than just to get through this next year. It's to try and, get a springboard going so I can promote the comics and get to a point where I'm not scratching. Let's see. There's comics. Quentin Space Ranger. Blah 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 blah. I don't know why it doesn't automatically all trackbacks and pingbacks. I don't know. Wish it would. It would make it easy. And again, big thank you and congratulations, and a big thank you to Daniel Meyer, who is the gentleman who assembled my web page the way it is. Put all the nuts and bolts together and made it run. Me, I was just standing. I barely understand HTML code. I was standing there with the bits and pieces of my last website. I don't know what I'm doing. And Daniel Meyer comes along and says, I can fix it. And I say, please. And this is the result. Okay, let's see here. And it goes around and around and around and around. And the new page is up. Hooray! Mm. I'm really going to have to work on that. I have to tinker around and come up with a better way. Is that the comics, the way I do them, the way they come out when they're printed, they sort of have a faint, soft focus effect. Still legible and everything, but it bugs some people. Kind of bugs me a little bit too. I draw them at the standard size, shrink them down to a third, so they're 1,000 pixels high. But that's apparently not high resolution enough for people these days. And when I don't know. I don't like working with images. I like the fact that when I shrink them down, it smooths out a lot of the jaggies. When you draw digital, this has been my bane ever since I started using digital art. Pixelation. Of course, if I did keep these at 3,000 pixels high, when they were printed, they probably wouldn't have jaggies because I don't know. I've got to experiment. I really got to experiment and see what results I can get. Well, anyway, let's see here. Pardon me. Let's see here. Been trying to poke a few sentences into each of my stories. Yes, I am still working on the Sanguine Chronicles, but well, it's a little bit of just no juice coming out, I could probably do with a software upgrade for my art program. I could also do with it. I mean, I bought this computer 2 years ago. About 2 years ago. Uh, it wasn't, cutting edge even then, but it's just the faster you catch up, the further behind you are. But it's good for what I do. Software upgrade for my art program, maybe. This is the latest version of Paint Shop Pro, so. And considering what people want for new software these days, oi! But, man, I just need to learn better techniques for these things. Anyway. Now, I'm wondering out there, I've been looking forever for a filter that would sharpen up pictures like this, I should put those quotes down here instead. Manga Studio? Well, you didn't have to agree so quickly. Where? Manga Studio. I believe I downloaded it. It's very, very hard. It's like switching from QWERTY to Dvorak. You know what I'm saying? Switching art programs. I've got an old version of they gave out free versions of the old Adobe Photoshop, and I'm poking around and I feel like I'm trying to type with the wrong hand, and I don't know. I'm kind of worried that maybe I've just really hit my threshold, you know. That maybe I can't seem to. I've got Kamikado Light. I've got that. You know what? For this show, let's see if I can learn how to use this crap. I've got Kamikado Light. Let's have an educational show. All right. Let's see here. File. New file. Standard 7x10. 450 DPI. Okay, I've been doing my artwork at 300 DPI. That's probably another problem. This thing's here says standard. Page trim. Edges. It's got the panel guides. It's got the that's nice. Okay. Apparently, it creates a panel. Oh, well, how about that? It creates the panels and everything, but I have no idea. Am I supposed to draw in the panel, then put the panel on there? Okay. This is interesting. Now, what I don't understand is why the... Never mind. Personally, I think every program should come with its own step-by-step training program, not just a little tutorial. I mean, like a whole, and this is how we use our program slide sort of thing, you know? That way, okay, let's see. Now, what do I do to draw on it? Board, texture, layer, select, view, inverse, expand. I think you draw the pictures, then you import them to Kamikado and arrange them on the tiles. Okay, import image. No. That's not what I meant. Okay, maybe I'm mistaken. Help. Okay. Keyboard shortcuts. About. Kamikado Align. What is this? We have found education. Easy and lightweight graphic application for creating comics and other illustration works. I feel like such a pretender looking at this stuff. I really do. I mean, you look at this. Look at this beautiful line work. Somebody out there just drew that. Just, but my stuff looks just like what it is. Some guy with a shaky hand trying to draw something way above his skill level. Perspectives and poses, rulers, straight line modes, brushes, color fill tools, selections, splines. Bump text, board texture, texture of the board surface is an adjustable property of the layer. Blah, 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 screenshots. Let's see what we got here. I feel like such a fraud looking at this. Okay, 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 I've got Kamikato Light. The full version is $30. To use Kamikato Light before I go spending any money, though. Not very much in the way of instructions there. Forum. Okay, blog. Forum. There's not very many lesson type of things there. Let's see here. File. Import, redo grid settings, texture panel. It doesn't tell you how to start. Let's see here. Tools window. No. Content. Peculiar. Snap to line, grid, panels, board area, rest frames, move tool. There doesn't seem to be any drawing tools. I can figure this out. Wait, hold on, wait a minute. No, that's not it. Oh, well, that's different. I'm all on Twitter. I can turn the page around. Yay! That's one way to do it, too, if you want to draw. For the life of me, I can't find the paintbrush. What is... Oh, good grief. Keyboard shortcuts here, okay. Most... Just eyedropper selection? Brush erasure. B, okay, but... B. I can't find the B on my keyboard. The bottom row of my keys is the lettering is worn off and I can't read them. I have to go by feel. Oh, there's no brush. This is incomprehensible. Okay, no, I don't want to save nothing. Just turn off. I have never felt so bemused by an art program in my life. Never has a product intended for use in artwork thwarted me so effectively. What the heck? Oh, okay. Okay, it's like in such. Okay, let's try this again. All right, all right, all right, all right. Let's try this again. Like the danged fool that I am. File. New. Okay. Okay, this is no. I'm. It's standardized sizing, so I'm going to it's correct. Now, why does it have this movable panel? I don't understand that. I don't understand nothing. You're messing with my head. Alright. Okay, panel 1, border layers, group 1, layer. Okay. Okay, what were the instructions here? What did you say the instructions were, teacher? Go into the layers group and select a layer. Und start drawing. Aye. There we go. That's terrible. That's really terrible. It really is. Generic brush, pencil, pen. Okay. Maybe I really probably, my ambitions have outreached my talents. Probably should have stuck with doing little comic strips like with Nip and Tuck. I really should have. Okay, let's see here. They have the pen with the cover and the blend, with the airbrush in the one tone, and I don't know what this means. What is this? We have black ink, and we draw like this, and your hand is. This is something that's been causing me some stress for some time. My writing hand has become shaky. And you can see how quavery the line is. Or maybe you can't. It's a small. It's a small PaintShop Pro window. It's edit, undo. Okay. Okay. Layer 1 opacity, pen, brush tool, pressure, size. No pressure. No pressure. I don't like variable pens. Now you see here, I do this with my right hand using the mouse. And it's a lot steadier. That really disturbs me. It disturbs and depresses me. It feels, I'll be honest, it feels like I'm being cursed. Like I'm having my gift taken away. An inch at a time. Just to punish me. For being such a poor steward of it. Oh, they have a smoothing tool. See here? This is what I've been in settings. Max out the smoothing. Edit. Undo. I don't know what this frame is here that I'm drawing on here. I don't know how to move up the page here. Ah, here we go. No, that's to flip. That's to flip. Set rotation. Line blocking. Oh, that's interesting. So that you don't cross over your own lines. I'm missing the scroll bars. I'm really missing them. Because I can't figure out how to... I can't figure out how to move the window around. Ah, here we go, dummy. The hand. I will give you the back of my hand! Mein Leben! It's the little hand in the corner. Yeah. Okay, and now... Where'd my pen go? It's pen, pen, pen. Unclick. Okay, there we go. Wonder what this does. Oh, that is marvelous. It's taking all the shakiness out of my lines. That's a real confidence restorer right there. Okay, it's not taking all of it out, but that alone would probably improve a lot of things with my artwork. Doesn't have an eraser setting here. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay. Let's see what this does. Yeah, look at that. It stops the lines from crossing each other. Now that's clever. Okay. Learning to draw inside frames. It's going to... I keep looking for certain tools that I'm used to using. I think maybe I'm feeling homesick for Nip and Tuck, you know. Nip and Tuck literally are the oldest characters I've ever drawn. I started trying to draw cartoons and comics when I was about, 10. And Nip and Tuck were my first idea. So Nip and Tuck, off and on, I've been drawing them since I was just a little boy. And they changed dramatically over the decades, as you can imagine, but they are some of the oldest ideas I've had. Look at how my hand shakes. That's so depressing. Back to the mouse. It'd take a little bit of adjustment to get used to using these. Especially just getting used to tool sizes, that sort of thing. Every time I draw Thelma, don't ask me why, but I start thinking of the Dixie Chicks. Now, some of you don't remember. The Dixie Chicks, back in 2000, 1995 to 2000, they were an up-and-coming country trio. Three women, that beautiful singers, quite talented. And then after 2001, they shafted themselves. Because right after 2001, September 11th, right after September 11th, when we suffered that horrible attack, and the president started mobilizing the government and the military to go and attack, fight the terrorists in Afghanistan and Iraq. These women were outperforming in Europe. And one of them opened her big fat mouth in front of an audience in France and announced that just to let everybody know, we're ashamed of our president because of the Iraq War. And this did not go over well in flyover country. And every time that girl opened her mouth, every time they opened their mouths after that, they just dug themselves in deeper. Everything, it was a mess. And their career basically ended. They came out and announced, oh, well, we're going to go into something a little more sophisticated than country music. Just one last little dig at the audience that had made them millionaires. And they decided to go into pop music and were never heard of again. And I used to listen to their album all the time. Their first album, Fly, it was excellent. It was quite good. And it was just such a shame that they were such airheads. They were such stereotypically just Hollywood airheads who didn't seem to grasp what we were at war about and why. It was a crying shame. But I could never, as much as I loved him, I couldn't bring myself to listen to it. Because, even hearing it was enough to remind me of what they did to our country, and it was to the rest of it. It was, her comment was an insult to all the Americans, to all the soldiers who had gone out there. You ask the military, you ask the people in the military, they supported the Iraq War. The soldiers with their boots on, with the boots on the ground, they said, yes, we got to do this. But the zine writers in Hollywood knew better than the rest of us. And it was just such a shame. I'll say this much. I already like the fact that it has a smoothing tool here. That, I already like the I like the fact that they have that tool there that's smooth, enables smoothing line, That's more than the other other programs I've worked with have. Of course, they have the, Well, one of the downsides is because the reason that's so important, that smoothing tool, is because when I'm drawing and I zoom out in Paint Shop Pro, and I try to draw, it makes jaggy lines. Makes jaggy lines. No, that's not right. And I have to be zoomed in very close, and it makes it hard if I have to, keep track of details. The whole picture. So a tool that keeps the line smooth, no matter what scale you're working at, that's very useful. If I can just, I don't know. It may be that I'm not using my left hand as much is the reason that my hand is so shaky and weak. Let's see. Okay, let's see here. That's about right. Okay, and do they have a fill tool? Smoky texture brush. Here we go. You can see there's a slight problem. Doesn't fill quite to the edge. The smoothing tool makes the line slightly, well, something to work with, something to work on. See what a pencil looks like here. Okay, pencil. Just like the pen. Probably because it uses the same settings on doing it. The hardest thing, I think, is going to be figuring out the cryptic mysteries of the layout. You know, all those little lines and everything. Hmm. Oh, wow. Now that's interesting. Okay, let's see. What kind of filter tools do we have? Eyedrop, lasso tool, magic wand tool, transform tool. Doesn't have as much of the photo type editing filters. Well, this is Kamikado Light, so it's not going to have tools, you know. All the ooh, gradient fill tool. Here we go. Ooh, linear radial background. Oh, well, now this is different. Huh? I don't know what I just did. I think I just just drew over top of everything. Um, hmm. Just gradient fill tool might need a little bit of study to learn how to use properly. Oh, well, here's what we do. First, we outline it. Then we switch to gradient fill tool. Okay, opacity. Here we go. Yay! Ah, yes, that does have potential, doesn't it? Now, how do I get it to stop? Oh, look at that. I'm trying to turn it off and it won't. Transform, scale, rotate, shear, mirror. It doesn't want to work. Okay, that's gonna take a little. Some of these tools, the way they work is just different enough to make it an interesting challenge to learn how to use them. Contiguous. I can't get it to stop. I can't get it to turn off. Okay. Fairly interesting. The pre-laid out pages are a nice plus. It gives you all the lines and everything, and gives you the trim lines and everything. What I don't understand is why they don't just give you don't draw outside this line and be done with it. But no, I don't know. I'd have to learn what they mean by the difference between panel, working layer, source layer. It has potential, but I'm not sure I'm going to be using it anytime soon. It'll take a lot more tweaking and twiddling and fiddling with it to learn how to use it right. Okay, that's let's call that a quit. No, I do not. Yeah, well, the problem is it's complicated. It's the page, it's layering thing. I can't keep the windows open. This is something that I would willing. This is something I would be willing to go back and take a course, sit down with somebody on a daily basis. And, the way YouTube, that's one drawback of YouTube over live stream. Live stream, I had a little chat window I could put anywhere. I could put it on top. I could put it on the side. Put it, and I could make it so it would stay on top of the layers, or theoretically I could never figure that out. But YouTube, I have to keep a window open in my YouTube. I have to keep a window open in my internet browser, and whenever I'm trying to work with one program over another, it's anyway. That's something else to figure out. Anyway. Ah. Definitely not fill on the line layer. I've forgotten about that little trick. There we go. That's a way to do it. Well, I think that's enough experimenting with it for today anyway. We'll do a little bit more tomorrow. Great, you get to watch me learn how to use a crayon again. Yay! Aren't we all excited? I know I'm excited. Are you excited? Yes, this is Ralph Hayes, remedial art classes. Okay, what was the other one you said? Manga Studio? I believe that's a paid program, anyways. I'm really starting to question myself some days. This should have been an obvious solution right here, doing this. Oh, I work with layers already in my own Paint Shop Pro. It's just that it didn't occur. I'm going to have to relearn the lingo in this new program, figure out what it's talking about. Make sure that what it's saying, what I think it means when it gives instructions, means what I think it means. It's this here. Just this sort of stuff is starting to make me question myself because obvious solutions are constantly escaping me. It's really embarrassing. I mean, I told you about it was last week or a week before. But anyway, one weekend, Friday night, I come home and almost to my front door, my car just stops. Okay, it is my van. I'm like just at the entrance of the trailer park, and everything shuts off. The radio, the car, it doesn't die or anything, it just stops. And the radio goes off, the lights go off, everything goes off. Blip. Like flicking a switch. And I coast to a stop and I go, okay, it's the dead of night. It's like 2 in the morning. And I coast to a stop, and I had eventually I couldn't I didn't have a phone with me, so I had to walk home, which for a healthy person wouldn't be too much, but for me it like to killed me. And I got home, called a tow company. I had to call somebody with a tow truck to tow my car to the rest of the way to my driveway. And they came out, and they hooked it up, and they dragged it out there. And I had to walk all the way back to where the car was, so that, be there when the guy hauled it back. And drag it all the way to my driveway, push it into the driveway. And I spent 3 days on and off. Daniel Meyer can tell you, I could not figure out what was wrong with it. I was completely clueless. I pop it open, I look at the stuff, I couldn't see any leaks, I couldn't see anything was wrong, I couldn't, I didn't know what I was looking at for the most part. And, I'm not a stupid man, but, and like on Monday, Daniel Meyer says, did you try jiggling the wires to the battery? I had visions, I've had car problems before. I had visions of my alternator blowing out or something. And I'm trying to see if I can figure out what's happened. And he says, did you check the battery leads? Well, the next morning I go out there, I pop the hood. I stick the keys in the ignition, then I jiggle one of the wires, and I hear the battery, the seatbelt buzzer. Beep, 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 beep. I go, crap. All that time, all that trouble, because the positive lead on the battery was loose. I was so humiliated, and I go in, and to top it all off, all I had to do was take a little wrench and tighten that bolt up just half a turn, and I had my car back. I had my vehicle back. And even then, I managed to make an ass of myself, because I pick out a wrench, and I go out there, and I picked out a wrench that didn't have a rubber coating on the handle. Let's make it that simple. I reach in there to tighten that thing up. All my neighbors heard me go, yay! Sparks flew. I mean, sparks flew like 2 or 3 feet from 2 or 3 feet out of the engine, and I step back and I say, oh, okay, let's get the tool. Let's get the wrench with the rubber handle, and and I go in there and I tighten it up. A whole weekend, like 3 days with no vehicle, and I'm panicked because without the vehicle, there's no buses out in this area. There's nothing out here. I was stranded, and oh man, I feel so stupid. It was so obvious. Anybody else would have thought of that first, except me. I didn't think of it. And I don't know. I suppose it's because I've gotten used in my past to the solutions never being simple. I don't know. I've developed a very pessimistic outlook on life, I suppose. I expect everything to be worse than it looks, to be more than I can handle, and to be more complicated than I can understand. Because I've gone through those things, try jiggling the handle and it never works, And, this solution here, just shrinking down this window on one side, didn't even dawn on me until somebody in channel said, "Why didn't you do that?" I'm like, oh. I'm old and my brain is fossilized, okay? Okay, or maybe it's just pickled in artificial preservatives, I don't know. It's embarrassing. Yeah, well, the thing of it is that the way the engine is set up, the way the battery is set in the van, it's all, it takes an act of Congress to reach the ground wire. I'm not consciously thinking those sort of things, Zane, when I'm going out trying to deal with something. I've just gotten into the habit of all the little simple things that you try. Well, like jiggling the wire. I didn't even. Wouldn't you think anybody would like jiggle the wires or something to check if they were loose? It's what is obvious to other people just escapes me sometimes, and it's so embarrassing. Still had to pay that tow truck driver. If I'd have just jiggled that stupid wire, if when my car stalled out, well, it didn't stall out. When the car stopped, I wouldn't have even had to call the taxi. I wouldn't have to do that long walk. I wouldn't have had to go to all that trouble. I wouldn't have had to pay the guy nearly 60. I had to pay the guy almost $70. Man, it was less of a haul. It wasn't. It was barely a city block. Let's put it that way, in equivalent. And I get the feeling that most of the problems in my life have absolutely obvious solutions just floating over my head. Yeah, well, I'm no good at that. I've tried the Google thing, right? Tried the Google thing. I get a headache and the thing, and I go to Google and the thing tells me I have cancer. So you have cancer. I have a hangnail. Yeah. Cancer! Oh, the hangnail came off. Leprosy! But, if the thing about Google is that if you don't know what you're looking for, you're never going to find it. That sounds very zen when you say it out loud. But if you don't know what to look for, how are you going to find it? That's always, check your spelling in the dictionary, son. And I went and looked at my dad and I said, "Dad, I need to know how the word is spelled in order to find it in the dictionary." So how... Didn't do me any good. But... You don't know what you don't know. And you don't know how to find out. I was I was college age before I was in college before I learned how to balance a checkbook. It was utterly cryptic to me. And when somebody finally explained it to me, it was so stunningly stupid simple. This is how new computer users feel. Everybody laughs about the automatic cup holder joke. Remember that one? Where the guy thought that the CD drawer was a cup holder, or the woman who used the mouse like a sewing machine pedal. Now that's old school right there. For those of you who don't know, most home sewing machines come, or at least used to come, with a little lever pedal that you use to control the speed, and you put it down on the ground and stepped on it to control it while you were working with your hands to run it through the sewing machine. And the joke was, this little old lady got in a new computer and they got her the mouse, and she used it like, put the mouse on the floor and she stepped like a sewing machine pedal. And you remember Scotty on the Star Trek movie, where they were saving the whales. I love that movie. It's completely ridiculous, but you love it anyway just because it's so ridiculous. And Scotty's there. He put this genius in front of a computer, and he said, "Computer, activate. Computer, activate." And Bones reaches over and hands him the mouse, and he holds it up like a microphone. "Computer." And then he finally points out the keyboard. That's how my life feels sometimes. And everybody else that talks, when I finally find somebody that I can ask, they look at you like an idiot, like you're an idiot for not knowing what nobody ever told you. And I feel like everybody has problems. I feel like the solutions to my life have been written in Pig Latin, in Chinese, folded up, stuck in a fortune cookie, and mailed to Lithuania, because. And whenever I find a solution to some problem I'm having in my life, it's always something so stupid and so simple. But I've had to, go clear to the jungles of Borneo and back to find it. How do you escape that kind of trap? How do you realize, I told you all about this before. It's a psychology experiment they did years ago. It was a study. It was supposed to be a study in stress. It turned out to be a study in frustration. What they did is they had the rats in the cage, and the rat would be in the cage, and the rat would be standing on a little platform, and the little platform would be wired with electricity, Bzzz. And in front of the rat would be two little swinging doors. One would swing, one he could jump through. The other one would be locked, so if he tried to jump through it, he'd bump his nose and fall to the floor. Anyway, they did different. I forget what. They would change the color of the door. They would put a little pattern on one of the doors, and the rat would learn that you jump. The door with the little card on it, you jump through, right? Well, anyway, then they cranked it up to 11. They started switching the lock on the doors at random. And so it didn't matter which door the rat, it was completely random as to whether whichever door he jumped at was going to be the one he was going to get through. And they noticed that after a certain period of time, after a certain amount of this stress of not knowing which way to go and never being able to tell, the rat would eventually start just jumping either to the left or to the right. Just jump in that direction from then on. To the left, to the left, to the left, to the left. It didn't matter how long. They kept it going. They would even leave the left door locked, and leave the right one. The rat would, even after the rat finally gave up and never jumped at the door again, it would never try the door on the other side, because it had gone from being frustrated and just repetitively trying the same thing over and over and over again to finally giving up completely. And it never occurred to the rat, maybe I should try that right one more time. I don't know if that's applicable to my situation and to the problem I have, but I suppose I'm just another typical fool. I'm just another fool, like any other human being who just can't seem to apply all that knowledge into something effective. I don't know, but let's see here. Pull your Kamikaze. Let's look at. Oh, well, I forgot. This is the window. Oh, there we go. Let's look up. Let me look up Jugulis. Let's see here. I've basically come to the conclusion I'm missing at some point I am missing the cognitive tools that other people seem to have to get through life with a modicum of competence. I really feel that it's like there is some. I feel like there is some lesson, some skill, some learned skill or tactic or method that I failed to pick up on the way out the door to being an adult. And I don't even know what it is. I just know it's missing. What was I looking for? Manga Studio. Manga Studio official website. Let's take a looky at this. Manga Studio 5X. They make it look. That's the thing about these art programs. They make it look like you can draw this with our program. If you can't draw it without their program, you're not going to be able to draw it with their program. But #1 comic software worldwide. Start with your own sketches, photos, or illustrations. Penciling and inking tools. Blah 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 blah. On time, how much? Click here for more details. Ah! $209. Manga Studio 5X. Okay, $50. Manga Studio 5s. Now, what's the difference? I wonder what the difference is between these two. This is the expert. This is the expert, yeah. But, $50. It's not a bad price, I suppose, for the $50. Anime Studio debut, motion artist. Clip Studio Paint is simply the digital download of the Manga Studio. Smith Micro, blah 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 blah. Trial versions available here. Okay, Windows free studio, free 30-day trial. Okay. You know, internet privacy. Since day one, I've seriously wondered about people who get all really seriously wound up about, giving out your private information. They get all wound. What gets me is that everybody gets all wound up about giving out your private information on the internet, and yet they were perfectly comfortable giving all this information away to the pimple-faced kid behind the counter at Blockbuster Video. Oh, don't put your address on the internet. Are you kidding me? I'm serious, we gave out our information all the time. Every credit card company every grocery store, every Blockbuster Video, every library, every public library. We burped up this information without thinking twice. We are stupid enough to think that seeing someone face to face, we're stupid enough to believe that seeing a complete stranger face to face is going to make them more trustworthy. Okay. WinZip file. Yes, I'm very aware that people and computers can do all sorts of horrible things with your information. I'm also aware they were perfectly capable of that whether or not you even had a computer. Sometimes the paranoia isn't worth the effort. It's the equivalent of Wile E. Coyote. When he sees that gigantic boulder hurtling down, plummeting down on his skull, he always, and he pulls out that little itty bitty umbrella, hides underneath it. That's internet privacy. That's all your efforts at internet privacy right there. That little bitty umbrella, trying to stop that great big freaking boulder. Okay, I don't have WinZip anymore. I do have a zip file. 7-zip file manager. File open. File. I have no idea where the file is. I gotta look at the download again. For some reason, it ended up down in my desktop. Okay. I'll put this in a different folder. Okay, let's see here. Nope. There we go. And install Shield Wizard from Angus Studio. Continue, click next. I accept. Programmer's files, Smith Micro. Install. It's a 30-day trial. We'll find out if it's worth $50 quickly enough. Okay, so it's sitting there and going, what? Hooray. Okay, just out of curiosity, I gotta see this. I gotta say, Google.com. Help me. Nope. No website www.helpme.com, but Okay. So basically, instead of seeing me draw a lot, you're seeing me learn to draw a lot. Yeah. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing here. I just, come on. I do not know what I am doing as usual, but it should be having interesting results. Okay, installed. Click finish to exit the wizard. We have to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. Here he is, what it is, if ever was there was. If ever was there was. The wizard's one because. And where is it? Okay, let's see. I tried the League of Legends game. I can't believe people are all head up over that thing. I can't believe people are just wound up like watches over it. Because. And I can't find the program. Manga. Manga Studio 5.0. There we go. Put it out here. Okay, let's see here. Let's pop her open and see what's under the hood. Okay, I've got to, if I want to use, yeah. Start with limited features. Blah 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 blah. The data cannot be saved with limited features. Blah 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 blah. I thought it was a 30-day full trial. $30 graphic thingamajiggy. Yeah. Work properly. Okay. Manga Studio 3D. Ooh. Start preparation to use for the first time. That's so racist. Okay. Preparing for the first time to use. Please wait. I'm gonna do this the entire time, you know it. Hey, look, we have to put up with all the America jokes. You'll get sense of humor. Mm-hmm. It goes around and 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 around. Hi. True. Go back to the otter. It's funny. The otter was cute. It'll be just a minute. Okay, it just take a few minutes. So, how about them Knicks? I don't know. I don't know sports. I don't know nothing about them. Don't care either. What was so, I am glad I don't know sports because, I mean, when somebody like Tim Tebow is controversial because he prays and because he's openly Christian, but it's status quo to find out that the others are doing dope or hitting up hookers or hitting their wives or doing dog fights and crap. I don't want anything to. I don't want anything to do. I don't want to know anything about them. I love how these people who go out there and get all gassed up over sports call everybody else freaks. Yeah, it's a little bit of a lag. It's inescapable. Not much I can do about it. Okay, the latest page of Quinn Space Ranger is up. I've been fiddling and faddling around with a couple of recommended art programs here. We tried Kamikado here just briefly. Now I'm downloading a 30-day trial of Manga Studio. And apparently it's made so that you can sample both. Try Manga Studio 5 EX. Apparently Manga Studio 5 EX is professional. One thing I don't understand is that they give you these page layouts, right? The page layouts, and they give you like 7 or 8 different measurements. Okay, this is the actual page size, and this is the trim size, and this is the inside measurements for the frames, and it's okay. Look, I'm intelligent enough to get the idea. Don't color outside the lines, you know. So why are you telling me all this information? How am I supposed to know any different? Why would it matter for me, the artist, to know about all these other little lines? Give me a line where it says draw inside the lines, and I'll stop there. All the other little measurements you have outside of there are irrelevant to me. Okay, here we go. This is Manga Studio. It's a Manga Studio. And I'm messing around. Oh, this is I don't know about this. Okay. It's a Manga Studio. I'm trying to see if I can get the chat window up in the same space. Okay, here we go. And almost, but not quite. Oh, darn it. Okay, let's see. Manga Studio. Okay, right off the start, 600 by 872 DPI. Okay, let's see here. 3D drawing doll. Goodness, look at this. They have body frames and everything. Look at that, look at that. You can't use this function without registering the license, but apparently it's got poses. It's got it's got preset frame layouts. Yes, that's very nice. That helps if yeah, that's quite nice. Ellipses, anxious, balloons, and ooh, yes, this. Okay, some of these would make no sense to somebody who doesn't know manga, but they even get the onomatopoeias there, and they've got the ray lines, and oh, this is nice. I like that. They got several different kinds of bubbles here. Word balloons. Oh, this is nice. Look at this. Effect lines. Sound effects, signs, oh, and several, apparently, oh, that's nice. Oh, this is good. This is good. I think I like it. I think I like this program, and I've not even used it yet. Even it's got pre-cut everything here. Look at this. Now, some people will look at this and go, "But you're not doing enough. You're not drawing it yourself." And I'm like, "Yeah, and I'm not grinding the pigment for my paintbrushes with my teeth myself either." Look at this. This is very useful. Very, very, very useful. Oh, this thing about the flowers. This interesting thing. If you're a My Little Pony fan, My Little I don't know if you know Cheerilee. You know who Cheerilee is. She's the teacher on the show. She's a little school teacher. She's a little purple pony. And she has 3 smiley flowers. She has 3 smiley flowers on her flank. That's her cutie mark. Now, in English, that's a little obscure. It's supposed to be that your cutie mark is supposed to be your special talent. And she says that her cutie mark is supposed to be, because I want my children, because I'm a teacher and I want my children to bloom and grow. That's the English explanation. In Japan, it makes a lot more sense because in Japan, I don't know if it's in China or Japan, but I believe it's Japan. In Japan, kindergarten teachers use little stickers and little drawings to grade papers for their students, for the real young students. And one of the things they is a little, one of the little, you did real well marks is a smiley-faced flower. And I was like, oh, what an interesting coinky-dink. What is this? I already upgraded. Okay, fine. I use New Moon. I don't use Firefox anymore. I use New Moon, which is an independent version of Firefox. First of all, because Firefox has gotten very, very cozy, as I understand it, with the digital rights management people. And second of all, because Firefox, they fired their CEO because several years ago he made a donation to a pro-family values organization. How screwed up is that? Look, on the grounds that on the grounds that pro-family was a code word for anti-gay marriage. An anti. Let me put it this way: if you can figure out yourself that pro-family is opposed, if you can figure out for yourself that being pro-family means that whoever's pro-family is going to be against whatever you're doing, maybe you should question what you're doing. This is just me thinking. Oh, a simple frill. Now that's a useful one. I could describe so many different situations. They got snowflakes, snow crystals, soap bubbles, all the stars and beachy twinkles. Yes, and they got trees. Oh, trees. I talk to the trees, and they talk to me. I don't know. 3D. Now look at this. Look at this. They got 3D drawing dolls. Show different poses for the characters. You can use that as an overlay to. I like that. I like that a lot. Dozens of different poses, male or female. Body poses. Body types. Drawing doll, female drawing doll, poses, and hands. Now that is going. That there is very, very. Ooh, I'm sold on this. I am so sold on this. I'm doomed. Okay, I'm looking at this. I cannot begin to tell you how useful a hand pose, a list of hand poses is to any artist. Characters. Okay, this is, I don't know. Bleh. Oh, little bits of furniture, small objects. I'm guessing that this is just a limited selection for the trial. They've got word balloons, they've got objects, they got backgrounds. Classroom. Housing, vehicle. I'm guessing this is all. Yeah, that's all more stuff that you have to pay for to use. But, oh yes. Oh yes. When we get some money, we get $50 to spare. Monochrome sign, movement of. Got wound. Oh, interesting. It's nice. I like this. I like this so much. Oh, look here! I found it. I found the folders with the. They got several. Oh, they got they got nice patterns. Yes. Blue skies, shining on me. Oh, dots, dots and lines, gradients. Rough textured wood. Yes. It says he has so much nice stuff. He's got all the shiny toys. I haven't even tried drawing with it yet. well, I'm having to smush everything to one side. Let's see here. Pencil, pastel, color, pen. Let's see. And it's got different sizes right there. And you can see what you're drawing with. I'm just messing around now. It doesn't have. I'm missing that smoothing tool from the other program, Kamikado. Tool property, brush size, opacity, anti. Oh, there it is. Stabilization. It controls how. Ooh, that's. Let's see. Let's try that. Yes, this is a very good. This is very. This is this has got all the nice toys. Lettering. It has word balloons. It has a word balloon built-in word balloon tool. Mwah! I want you. Okay. Okay, I'm sold. They own my soul now. You had me at word balloon. You had me at word balloons. Oh, look at that. That's nice. That's clever. Oh, look at that. Well, that's intriguing, actually. Look at that. That's perfect. I like it. Balloon tails. Oh, look at that. It makes word balloons, and it makes the word balloon tails, and oh, look at that. I want to have this company's babies. And here's a thought balloon tail. Oh, look at that! It's got the little bubbles. I want this. How to bend a polyline? What is that? Look at this. Oh, this is so awesome. Oh, look at that. And look at that. You can make it. Look at that. You can make the word bubble. You can make it loops. Spline. See, look at that. You can make curvy. I'm having an artgasm here. Oh, let's see. 3D objects. Let's see. 3D objects. I've got to try the 3D object thingy. And it isn't doing it. I can't figure it out. I'm so sad. Edit. Let's clear that. Edit. Clear. Okay. And... Ah, there we go. It gives us a little more room. I want to try this 3D object thing. And I can't figure it out. No, that doesn't it. It's not it there. It does have that, doesn't it? I'm trying to figure it out, and I'm not quite comprehending it. The word bubble tool alone has me drooling. Okay, this I. Of course, once you've lost the tool, you're going to have a hard time finding it again. Where's it? Okay, object, layer selection, object. Oh, it does. Oh, I think I understand now. Move, select, move layer, marquee, magic wand, eyedropper. I don't know where I put the word bubble thingy. It almost has too many features. You can lose them too easily in all the complexity. But I like it. I like the tool. I like the word bubble tool. Let's see here. 3D. Okay, 3D. Character, small. Why is this just small object? It's a 3D object, okay. Now, how do I put it on the paper? Okay, like that? No. Ah! What the heck? I'm not sure what I did. Oh, look at that. It has actual, honest to God 3D. Oh, Lord. Let's see here. And it has, and oh, look at that. And it adjusts for horizon lines and everything. If I get some spaceships in this thing, I'll be able to crack them pages out like nobody's business, man. Look at that. Can I turn it? How do I turn it? Trying to... Here, hold on. Let me move this out of the way. Let me move this out of the way. Okay, it's a coffee mug. Select materials, select rotation. Oh, look at that. Oh, my goodness. Look at, yes, yes. Oh, I think I like this. Pose partial preset. That one's confusing me. Oh, look at that. Oh, my lord. Oh, my lord. Dude, it is Christmas morning. And look at that. Look at that. I can pose in any direction. Oh my gosh. And look at this. Oh, well, good grief. Ike! Okay, look. I'm not going to, this is gorgeous, but $200. If I could afford to plunk down $200 for an art program, I would definitely get this. But if I could afford it in the first place, I probably wouldn't need it because I'd be so rich I'd already have it. Uh, but oh my, 30 days. I didn't even need 30 minutes trial, and I want this thing. It is Christmas morning. Oh my word. This has all the features I have been weeping for ever. The word bubble tool alone. Let's just. Okay, let's. If I can figure out where the word bubble tool is, where did I put it? Balloons. Here we go. Well, that has the pre-cut ones. You know, I'm looking for the word bubble tool. Let's see if I can find it again. Brush size, airbrush. Oh, sparkle effects. Yeah, that's eraser and the shade thing and with the fill. Here we go. The text tool and the word bubble tool are all together. Okay. Aye, that's freaking brilliant. Okay, ellipse balloon. That's the simple balloon. Undo. Curve balloon. Oh, look at that. Is that not genius? Look at that! Okay, but the balloon pen, that's the one that's got me sold. Look at that, look at that. It just makes it into a bubble. And then the balloon tail. Okay, let's see. Balloon tail with the tail spline. Yep. Look at that. The regular is $50. Yeah. If I, as soon as I get $50 to spare, yeah, you are mine. This makes it actually worth the effort of relearning how to use it. Use a tool like this. Oh my goodness, this is. I'm going to type something in there. Let's see. I wonder if. Okay. Text. Let's see. Ooh, it has all my. Malgun, Gothic. Oh, this doesn't. Well, the downside is I can't see what the words. I can't see what the fonts are like. Oh, no, these are my fonts. Yay! Good, it included my fonts automatically. Good, 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 good. Let's see. A, B, C, D. Digital strip. There we go. And what size? And you can scale it up, yes. And does it center? It's text direction, justify, center justify. There we go. And I bet it does this. Let's see what it does when I do this. No, yeah, I guess not. It doesn't do it like that. No, wait a minute. Let's try this. No, that doesn't work. I am so happy. You have made me a happy monkey. For I have found a new art program which shall kick much buttock. Hey, I'm always draw another dragon. I'm always open for commissions. $10 black and white, $20 color. Oh, you just sent me $50. Oh, well, thank you very much, Mr. Johnson. That is 3 commissions. 2 color, 1 black and white, or it could be 5 black and white commissions. Another dragon. Okie doke. Andrew, you send me an email with the description of the drawing that you want. And we'll go from there. Oh, man. I'm not. This is going to take a learning curve here. Right now, the canvas is 72 dots per inch. I gotta learn how to change that. It's got to be at least 400. Gotta up it up to 400. Okay. Yeah, I see. $50. Thank you very much. And your commission is okay. That's $50 is a drawing. So okay, you could have either 5 black and white commissions or 2 color commissions and a black and white commission, or a color commission and 3 black and whites. The reason I want you to send me an email with a description of what you want is that way I can save it and not have to be constantly reminded. Okay. I'm definitely going to need more practice with this, but oh my word. Sweet Googa Mooga. Okay. Oh, this has got okay. Let's help. Register Manga Studio. It doesn't let me. Why won't it? What would it open up? Not there. Trial version. Manga Studio homepage. Is that? Let's. Oh, it helps. It helps if I open up the. There we go. Let's see. Manga Studio 5. Manga Studio 5. Buy now. It's buy physical. I'm going to go ahead and buy the physical copy that way. Yeah. Okay. PayPal account. And okay. And dun, 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 dun. Yeah. I think this. I think this is my Christmas. This. I think this is going to be. I'm going to count this as my, a Christmas present. Yeah, because that is nice. And next year, I'm going to get their other look. They got Anime Studio, motion artists and poster review programs for animating. Ooh, my. Oh dear. Okay. Okay. No problem. It'll have to. I made a deposit. Okay, they added a little extra charge for shipping, but I've got that covered. So okay, all right. I'm stoked. How about you? Thank you very much, Mr. Andrew Johnson. I'm going to. You ever seen a fat man hit a delivering tackle? In about a week, you're going to. Hi, it's the UPS. Gimme! Oh my. And here's another example of what I'm talking about. It's obvious solutions to so many problems. I never, of course, back when I was first told about Manga Studio, it probably didn't have half the features that I was looking at. But I know I'm feeling good. Goodness. He'll probably see me coming out the front door. Give me that package! And he'll throw a donut at me and run. Uh, okay, let's see here. Well, the thing of it is, you can't save anything right now with this trial version. So I'll be using my traditional program to draw up your commissions. But, oh my. Why does it say screen? Oh, yeah, look at that. There. That's just... No. Eek! But, no. Look at... Oh, look at this! You can adjust all the little pointy things. Look at that. I can play with the pointy things! That is awesome. You can look at that. You can every little detail you control. And it's so intuitive, you know. I'm fiddling around with this. I'm discovering all sorts of things. This is amazing. I never took a lesson in my life. Now, the question remains as to whether I will be able to draw anything worthy of this program. Goodness gracious. Do you realize how much time, I hated, doing the word bubbles the way I do in the comics. It's fairly quick and efficient, but yeah. Those fuzzy blobs, it doesn't look sharp. It doesn't snap, Oh, excuse me. Snap to ruler, snap to special ruler, snap to grid. What's this? Show, hide, and title bar. Undo and redo, save and open. You can't save in this trial program. But goodness. Excuse me. I'm so excited. Layers, new raster. Ooh, it's very similar to the layout. Yes, layers, layer setting, rasterize, merge with lower layer. There we go. Hi, I'm a coffee. Hi, I'm a coffee mug. I'm going to guess that they have a ton of object models that you can download. Oh, my word, my word, my word. And magic from currently, magic wands, pens, markers, eyedropper, color picker, nose picker. A little bit of everything there. Oh, look at this. They got fill patterns. Oh, they got the fill pattern. Nice. With the flowers and the blue sky. Here we go. And, well, that's not what I wanted it to do. Ta-da! Our coffee lifts you to the, No, of course, that's how Red Bull got in trouble. Oh, blue sky with city line. You just drag it over here. Click and ta-da! Red Bull gives you wings. Okay, you've all heard the story, right? In the news today, a group of people Red Bull because it didn't give them wings. Ha 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 ha. You've seen that story, right? No, you haven't. You've been lied to, basically. The people that sued Red Bull were not suing Red Bull because it didn't give them wings. They sued because Red Bull advertised itself as a performance enhancer, which it does. The people who make Red Bull advertise it as increasing mental alertness, giving you more energy, and the usual list of our snake oil does something fabulous. The problem is that it doesn't. In fact, they've demonstrated, they said there's no evidence that Red Bull provides any kind of boost at all. In fact, Red Bull doesn't even have as much caffeine as coffee does. This is so brilliant. I love it. Click and drag. Click and drag. Yeah, there we go. Way. Awesome. Oh, look at that. That's so cute. I like it. I just sort of like the surrealism of the giant coffee mug flying over the city. Hi, I'm a coffee mug. Yeah, well, anyway, this is a typical example of what the news does. The fact that they are attacking litigation tells you something about the motivations of the press. Look, fact: the press is run by liberals, leftists, left-wing loonies. So you can take as a given, if they're attacking something, then the odds are pretty good that you should be for it. Litigation has been the way for the common man to keep those with tremendous power from abusing that power and making the penalty fit the crime. You hear a lot about so-called lawsuit abuse. I've looked at case after case after case of what was supposedly advertised in the news. Oh, lawsuit abuse, lawsuit abuse, lawsuit abuse, lawsuit abuse. And it turns out that nearly all of them were legitimate. The coffee lady. Remember the lady who, she burned herself with some coffee and sued McDonald's for it, right? That's all most people know about. Most people don't know. She's usually portrayed as some reckless ditz who was driving down the road with coffee in her lap and spilled it. No. Dead wrong. First of all, the lady was a little old lady. She and her daughter, they had driven through the drive-thru and gotten their coffee, and they had parked in the McDonald's parking lot. And she was prying the lid off to add the creamer and sugar, and the cup basically disintegrated, just fell apart. The coffee was so hot that she had this poor little woman had second and third degree burns all over the insides of her thighs. She had to have skin grafts. The coffee was literally almost just about boiling hot. The thing that damned McDonald's was that it was revealed in the trial that not only did they know about the hazard, they had something like 50 to 100 cases. I believe it was it was something like 50 different people who had been burned so badly by their coffee at the temperature they kept it at that they'd been hospitalized like this woman had. And the higher-ups in McDonald's had decided that it was cheaper just to throw a pittance at each of them to shut them up than it was to lower the temperature of the coffee 10 degrees. Literally, that's all it would have taken to make... that was 10 degrees was the difference between... a bad scalding, and needing skin grafts. Option at the bottom button to the right of the chat text box. Add moderator. No, it doesn't seem to have any option for that. Moderators. Other than me, yeah. Some of the more popular, crappy, terrible, law abuse. There are cases that law abuse lawsuits are ridiculous, but what most of these ridiculous, the ones that are genuinely ridiculous, what is never mentioned is that the ridiculous ones go through court and get thrown out. Uh, I don't see any button to the right. Do you mean to the left? To the left, to the right, to the left, to the right, to the left, to the right, to the left, to the right. No, there isn't anything there. No. Anyway, it's been a fairly good evening, I think. Got the next Questor page, got the next Space Ranger page finished. Basically discovered the true love of my life, Manga Studio. Oh my. Yeah, I see the button with the dot 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 in it. I've clicked it. All it says is add moderators. That's the only option it offers. Let me try. I already have moderator privileges as the video owner. So that doesn't help anything. Nope, no options for giving links. Just type it, replace the dot with DOT. You'll just have to type it out. At with at, dot with dot, Like this. Ta-da! Well, I'm sure this was entertaining. You managed to see a cartoonist nearly wet himself playing with Manga Studio. I like this. I'm gonna load down, and when I get that program, I ordered the hard copy. That way, I got this DVD, I got the CD, and that way, I'd rather have a hard copy. That way, yeah. Question mark. Manga Studio question mark. Oop. Ooh. So that's the link. Thank you. How to transform, scale, rotate, brush sizes, colors. The color wheel is very similar. I'm as good as got. I'm had. They've got me now. Let's see here. Let's see. Material. Pattern effect, greens and backdrops, images. Ah, well, that's neat. I like that. It's just marvelous. Now you can tell that this was made by a cartoon. Now, Photoshop and PaintShop Pro, those are for people who like to mess around with photographs. Let's be straight up. It's not really made for cartoonists. It's, you know, a sort of a one-size-fits-all, all artists kind of thing, but with a primary focus on photoshopping. Oh, they've got rubble. Yeah, there you go. Sand clouds, flowers and soap bubbles and sparks and stars and sparkles and trees and wooden fences and blotchy things. Flame. Eek. Look at that. I love that. Oh, and you... Oh! Whoops. May need a chiropractor after that. Look at that! Let's see how... I guess it only goes so far. I was going to see if I could wrap the leg around the neck, you know. Look at... Now, this is all the stuff I've been looking for. Something simple, innovative. This is everything I was looking for all this time. The more I use this thing, the more crazy I'm going. Cause this is amazing. This is everything. $50. You try and buy like Photoshop, and you're paying through the nose like $200-300. Look at this. You know, I was figuring I was going to have to learn 3D modeling to get this kind of stuff. Look at that. It comes with 3 preset poses and everything, so that you can know where to start out with. And it's they're all human figures, you know. Not gonna have a little trouble adjusting to for like Rakonans, but yeah, I've got it right here. Preset poses. I started out with a preset pose, and then I found out I could move the pose around, and I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm having an artgasm here. Oh, you're disgusting. Go away. I'm arting here. I wonder if this is posable too. No, what is it doing? It's thinking it over. I think I fried my own brain with this. Oops. Too much for it to handle all at once, I guess. It's got a built-in posing doll. What can you say? Oi! You know, I'm not sure what it's doing. It's thinking. Oh my word. Look at that. Get her out front here. The characters they have in here are opposable to. Oh my word. Yeah, it even does a shadow too. Far out, man. I'm sitting here. I'm afraid I'm going to wake up in a minute and wipe the drool off my chest and realize I'm staring at a blank screen on my computer. What am I doing? I knew it was too good to be true. If I can just get this one out. Da, 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 da. Ooh, adjust size of each part. Head length. Oh, look at that. I can adjust head size. Head width. Yeah, big old head. Squishy body. Torso width. I can adjust the arm length. Be able to look at that. Look at that. I can adjust everything in this thing. I'm going mad here. Foot length, leg width, leg length. Leg width. Oh, fat thighs there. Foot length, foot width. This is awesome. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. Does everything. You know the characters here, the schoolgirl and the school students and schoolgirls, they're posable too. This is literally designed. You don't even have to draw. You don't even have to know how to draw to make this work. This is amazing. This is awesome. This is so great. This is so great. I'm wondering if you can overlay the character onto the poser. It covers the eye expressions and everything. The facial expressions, the angles. It's just... Oh my gosh. Oh man, well, I'm gonna stop because I could spend all night just fiddling with it. But that's enough. That's enough for tonight, Guinevere. Okay, that's enough. Okay. Okay, I'm getting an email. Let me check my email here. Okay. Supposed to get a notice saying... Here we go. Order Manga Studio 5. 300 Starlight Drive, Lot 51, Marietta, Ohio, USA. 1 copy. Thank you for your order. Yes. I ordered the physical copy because that way, if anything happens to the computer, I still have the program. I'd rather have a solid copy for most things, really. Save this. Okay. Goodness. Man, if I'd have just known. Again, this is a story of my life. If I'd have just known. Stay in school, kids. Or more importantly, expand your mind as much as possible. That's why websites like Hackables is so important. Okay, I'll be right back. Hold on. I'm back. Have you ever thought, have you ever done a thing like have you ever seen somebody do something, fixes something, comes up with a solution for something, and you sit there and go, dude, I never thought of that. That's why life hacks are so awesome. This is one of the websites I've found. I really need to look around and find more of them, more websites like this. But this is lifehackable.com. Lifehackable.com. Has, meme pictures, texted pictures with solutions to different day-to-day life problems. Simple little fixes. They showed one thing on how to peel an orange. Would have made my whole childhood so much easier. How to cut and, open up an orange so that you can serve it in slices. Little things like that. Online free as PDFs. Let's see here. Custom phone dock from Legos. A way to stop needle pain during flu shot season by you put pressure around the area that's about to be stuck. It overrides nearby pain receptors in your skin and confuses your nerves into thinking it's a gentle poke rather than a sharp jab. Always, when you order Papa John's online, use the code 25OFF, 250FF. It gets you 25% off any regular order. Brushing your teeth regularly has been shown to prevent heart disease. It's one of those holistic things. Wrap pipe cleaners around hangers so you never have to worry about your clothes sliding off. This is all stuff that people have done that nobody else would, other people never think of these things, but they just stumbled across them. This is why people need each other, because there's always somebody in your circle of friends, or in the circle of people you know, who have thought up a simple solution to something that you would have never thought of in a million years. I probably would have ended up taking my van to an auto mechanic if it hadn't been for Daniel Meyer saying, "Don't you just jiggle the wires?" Now, this is a slightly morbid one. If you ever get stuffed in a trunk of a car, disconnect the backlight wires. When a cop pulls them over, kick the door so you know they'll know you're there. If you need extra cash this semester, you can sell your study notes on flashnotes.com. If you work in customer service, put a mirror behind you, because customers will be nicer because no one wants to see themselves being a jerk. How to save money on college textbooks. Visit App Store, download Swap It, sell your old textbooks, buy used textbooks. That's a criminal industry right there. Any other company, any other system, it would constitute fraud, but because it's education. Well, there's just interesting things here. That whole thing. They have literally it makes a great scare story, but you know what they found out? 0 cases. Out of they had one cop say they went through like thousands of cases of women who thought they'd been given a date rape, but it turned out what they'd done is that they'd gotten drunk. Let me take a moment to note something. That is a disgusting double standard. Okay? A man gets drunk, wakes up the next morning, can't remember what happened, rolls over, sees the woman of his nightmares naked in bed with him. It's comedy. And the man is expected to just basically suffer the consequences and learn a life lesson. Namely, don't get so drunk you can't remember what you're doing. A woman gets drunk, does the exact same thing, and it's rape. Date rape. No, it's not. It's poor decision making. There are real rapists out in this world, real rape victims, and we trivialize their suffering by letting women who want to dodge personal responsibility pull crap like this. Morning after regrets do not equal a license to accuse men of rape. But back on subject. Oh, this is one. Scrub brush, electric drill, Tilex. Pulling forward 1 inch can reduce the energy usage by as much as 40%. I'll have to move my refrigerator out. Oh, cheesecake stuffed strawberries. Take down that recipe, folks. A packet of strawberries, whipped cream, cream cheese, and cheesecake flavored pudding. You mix the whipped cream and pudding till blended, add cream cheese and vanilla extract, and then pipe into the strawberries. Yummy. Never be afraid to give advice. Even if it's something little and silly. Because it's the little... The world... Life is made up of little things. You know, don't let anybody tell you, don't sweat the small stuff. Because it's all small stuff. In which case, you should be sweating everything. It's the small stuff that can ruin you. It can wreck your whole day. For want of a nail, the shoe was lost, so on and so forth. Little tips like this. The internet has made some very interesting inroads on human communication and educational development. Life hackables are a good example. People are trading these all over the world. Little tips that are making you know something simple like a new way to use a twist tie off a loaf of bread improves somebody's life somewhere. And they trade these. It's also observable. One columnist noted that the internet is what gave rise to the largely to the men's right movement and to the so-called game. You know the what men going their own way call the game. You know the skills for seducing and holding the interest of any woman. It's the naysayers call it sexist, but even the practitioners of it say it can either be used. It's a tool. It is neither good nor evil. It is a tool. It can either be used to be a player. To go from one woman to the next night after night after night, or it can be used to hold the interest and affection of one woman throughout the course of your life. It's about dealing with how women actually think as opposed to how they say they think. And the reason that game and the practitioners of it, they work. They go out. They pull in women, or they have one woman that they've dated for years, or have been married for years, and the proof is in the pudding, And what made it possible is that men getting together online from all over the world. Some of them lamenting together about the struggles they were having in keeping their women happy, and trading war stories back and forth, little tips on how to deal with this situation or that situation, and eventually it became a collective volume of knowledge on how men can effectively, how men can effectively deal with women on realistic, real-world terms. The blogging movement, the independent press movement, they are possible because the internet is. You'll remember Dan Rather with regret. Back during the Bush administration, he tried to libel President Bush as having gone AWOL during his time in the military. And he came forward with a fax. It was a copy of what was supposedly a internal military memo stating that Bush was absent without official leave, etc., etc., etc. And Dan Rather went to air with this. And in a previous generation, this would have been months of scandal and trauma and catastrophe. And confidence in the president would have been, just shot to pieces. But before he aired it on the East Coast, and before people even got up for their breakfasts on the West Coast, it had already been debunked. Why? Because there was a guy on the internet who had watched the show and who went out and downloaded. It turns out that this random individual was an expert in typography. And first of all, he pointed out that the format of the alleged memo was incorrect. It was not a proper military memo. Second of all, he pointed out that the font used in the memo didn't even exist when Bush was in the military. And he finally proved it. He did an overlay. He printed up a duplicate. He typed up a duplicate of this memo in Microsoft Word, and then he did a transparent an overlay GIF transferring back and forth between the image of of Dan Rather's memo and the one he had fabricated, and it was a line for line match. And he demonstrated it was in 2, 3, or 4 different ways that it was a fake, and it was debunked before it even hit the West Coast. And Dan Rather's career was through. They threw a bunch of his underlings to the wolves to try and save his behind, but it was too late. He ended up retiring early to escape the scandal. And this is what makes the internet so dangerous to those in power, is because no one person on the internet is going to be a real threat. It's the fact that all these people on the internet are able to trade back and forth the little bits of know-how and knowledge. Survival forums. People trading, home gardening. People trading information back and forth. Little tips, little tricks, little things that they have learned over the years. And the collective knowledge of humanity is exploding as a result. The capacities of individuals are going up thanks to the internet. Not just because we archive information, but because we're able to share little bits of information that would never make it into the common instruction books. There are tips that the average back alley garage mechanic could tell you that you'll never find in an owner's manual or an instruction manual or a parts list for your car or truck. Little tweaks and tricks that they have learned over the course of life. It's become a mechanism for sharing experience. And life hacks are just the simplest example. How to use a watch as a compass. Apparently, watermelon can relieve stress and anxiety as well as keep you energized and boost your metabolism. More watermelon, please. More watermelon, mama. If you move near a hospital, you'll be the first to receive power back during an outage. Going to the beach, put your phone in a sandwich bag. That's a tip that wouldn't have made any sense 10 years ago. 10 or 20 years ago. Oh, that's when you want to punish your kids, don't take away their electronics. Just take away the charger and watch the fear in their eyes as they use it less and less while the battery slowly dies. Oh, that's clever. A makeshift puppy feeder. A rubber glove and pours the milk down the sleeve into the fingers. That's kind of clever. That's a Yeah, well, it's always useful to have that kind of knowledge. It's always important to have. It's always important to have access to other people with other perspectives and other ideas. You know, even they talk about how they used to. The dumbest thing I ever saw was the people who insist, oh, the internet's just going to lead to people all having the same opinions on everything, and everybody will all isolate together and group together and look. No, you can't get three people on the internet together as an argument. Okay. If anything, the internet has resulted in more people than ever before being exposed to more ideas than ever before. More perspectives, more views, and for the first time in their lives, liberals are hearing arguments that they can't shut up. That's what they don't like about it. Okay, it is 10 o'clock. I've been spending this time just flapping my yap. It's been a good night. I'm going to go ahead and call it a night now. I will see you all tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Same bad time, same bad channel. I thank you all for your support and your readership. And say a prayer for me, because God knows I can use as many as I can get. See you tomorrow.